appreciating. He's a very nice guy, and I think, yeah, he showed me a film he had done with this story, but he was mainly copying part of film that exists from VHS to VHS, and it was crazy, really. But now he wants me to produce his film about this subject. I don't think it's possible. So he called me every year, and I feel bad. So on my phone, I wrote, because I didn't have his name on my phone, so I would pick up on that, I would feel trouble. So I put, it's Kenny, with a exclamation mark, so I don't pick up. This is a bad story.
Thank you. It's a nice story. I've seen earlier hand raised in that area. Oh, here, one.
I was wondering, nowadays we have a lot of technologies and phones with apps which film, and I was wondering how important is the traditional education in filmmaking at this point?
Traditional education?
How important is the traditional education in the filmmaking part, right? In the movie factory? Is it important for people to have some
formal training?
So we have a lot of technology nowadays, and we have phones with apps that film for us. And I was wondering how important is the traditional education, like school films and this kind of stuff, in being a filmmaker and becoming a filmmaker?
I'm sorry, there is still a little part I didn't get. How important is the education to become a filmmaker?
Yes.
To make a movie?
Yes.
Okay, so there are different ways of thinking about this subject. A lot of directors or film people think you have to educate yourself by watching as many movies as possible. My view on that is you don't. Maybe because I'm lazy and I don't want to watch a movie that if I don't like it. And I think also if you are completely outside of filmmaking, you can come up with ideas that are new. So it's, I mean, both ways are important. It's like people who go to film school. Sometimes they will come out and do a movie that's very, you can see they have recipes. And sometimes, like this guy who did Mary Full of Grace, his movie was amazing, and he was just coming out of a school. So there is no rules. I don't have a precise answer because I didn't learn, and I'm okay with what I'm doing. But I don't want to say, don't go to film school, because sometimes I feel, I wish I had been into a film school, because I would have learned some elements that I could use now. But I don't ask this question too much to myself, because it's too late.
Yes. Just a second.
Thank you, and hello again. On this regard, how did technology change your approach to filmmaking, and how do you see the future of filmmaking and of creativity in the development in an era of technology, of developing technology?
Okay, so I'm going to answer your question, but as an introduction, I want to say I don't feel qualified enough to give you even an opinion. Because you asked me to imagine the future of cinema. I think there is probably an effect that will be similar to what happened to the music in the 2000s, when it was on one hand democratization. Everybody could make music in their basement, and then all the structure collapsed, which I didn't feel sorry for them, because I think they were a bunch of crooks. And I think the movies are aware of this danger with all the TV series and things you can see on your phone, on your TV screen, and they push production to be bigger and bigger. So when you go to the cinema, you have an experience that can't be reproduced at home. Unfortunately, it makes a generalization of superhero movies or overly commercial movies. So, on one hand, this democratization allows more people to express themselves, to do movies. There is not much outlet still to see these movies. And in reaction to that, as I was saying, movies in theater are bigger and therefore more stupid. So it's a paradox, because you would think that the door opens to more diversity, originality, specificity, and it's partially true, but it makes the movie you can see in the theater more commercial and stupid. And it's an experience that's great to go outside and take your girlfriend, boyfriend, take to the movies. It's like in America, there is not much else to do when you want to go out in the evening. So it's important to be able to go and see movies in the theater, but sometimes it's hard to find a movie that has something to say.
In this moment, what is your definition of love?
Well, it's very at this moment.
Yeah, because I can believe you.
Well, okay. Well, I'm not sure I can answer for now, but in general, I know that my definition is twisted. It's not real love. Basically, if you want to, how people say in a nutshell, it's basically you love the person who leaves you. It's terrible. So you realize you were in love, but you didn't know it while you were in the relationship. So the love, to me, looks not intellectually, I don't think this way, but I think, unfortunately, it's missing. Then you have the love for your child, which is more healthy love. It's a real love, because it's not about yourself. It's a selfless love. Well, I think the love that would work is a love mixed with friendship and sex. Also, it's important. But in movies, I mean, I have to relate that, or maybe you don't want me to relate that to film, you just want to know about love. I mean, I'm not an expert. I'm a very good expert in failure. It's either the person leaves you, or either the person will reject you from the start, and then the first rejection, the love is multiplied by 1,000. And when in a position, when you get accepted, the love diminished greatly. But that's why you have to be careful. You have to remember what you felt when you thought it would not happen. But I'm not gonna give you. I mean, I can't give you the bad example.
We are running towards our last 20 minutes, so if anyone has questions, please raise your hands in order for me to get to you.
Si ça ne vous dérange pas, je veux poser cette question en français, parce que c'est une question sur la langue, précisément sur le changement de langue. Je crois qu'il est un thème important dans la science des rêves et même dans le film avec Noam Chomsky. Donc, comment avait changé le changement de langue votre art? Merci.
This is a question, I think, for the English speakers. It's a question about language, that's why it's in French. It's about how the language changed his way of filmmaking, and the references, especially to the film, the Noam Chomsky film, is The Man Who Stole Happy. And another one, and the Science of Sleep.
See, it's hard, huh? They ask many questions in one question. Okay, I'm going to answer in English. It's a very good and important question, especially in my life. There is something very basic, because we were talking about love just before. In French, I don't think I ever said je t'aime. It's very heavy and very strong. And my daughter, she said to me, and I think it's because we are in 2019, she said, Papa, je t'aime. And I feel a little awkward about that, because for me and for my generation, you would not say this word except you're in despair. When I moved to English countries, English-speaking countries, it had another signification, and I could say it. So there is a huge difference between je t'aime and I love you. And in America, that's a bit ridiculous because they say it 10 times a day. I love you, I love you, I love you. So I think it's too much, because then you lose the deep meaning of this word, because in French it's a lifetime engagement when you say I love you, je t'aime. It's very, very strong. And something else also I noticed is when I started to speak English the best I could, which was very limited, it's a bit better now, I could express my feeling in a much easier way. For one thing, misuse of words were excused, they could be funny, and they were not connected to deep emotion. Each French word is connected to the time I learned it. So if I say I miss you, maybe, okay, I'm gonna do a very basic psychology, and I'm not very strong in this domain, but I imagine that if I say I miss you, maybe it echoes to when you say that to your mom, or like when your mom goes out and you left on your own, and things like that. When I moved to England first, all the word expression were lighter, because they were connected to, if you read the meaning, it's connected with the French, but the feeling is not so connected. So it was much easier for me to approach a girl, let's say, or anyone, and say things, because I had an excuse if I say something too engaging, probably heavy. The excuse that it was not my first language. And my search for a girlfriend was much easier in speaking English. So I recommend, if you can find a girlfriend, go to another country. It will be much easier. And you talked about Science of Sleep, and it's a very good example. It was the first film I wrote, and the idea that I didn't write it in French, and I wrote it from the mouth of somebody who's not French or nor English, or trying to speak English. It gave excuses for have a more clumsy way of speak. So I was really aware of that. That's why Gaël character is Mexican, moving to France and speaking English to the girl he's in love with. So he can be much more silly and he can still feel real pain. So I use the mistranslation of language.
I also think there's a big...
Sorry, and with Noam Chomsky, same thing. I use the fact that I'm French and we didn't understand each other to dare asking questions that were very naive. But anyways, he doesn't mind if you're naive. He's going to attack you if you try to be smarter than you are. You don't have the backup of your knowledge. He's going to kill you. If you are like me, a bit naive, or you ask questions that are a little bit beside, and especially if you're an artist, you really respect that. He's gonna participate and be nice. But I cut some of the part when he was mean to me, when he would mock me.
You even chose for your heart project, using the films amateurs, and in English it's home film factory. Movie factory. So that's also, to me, a very big difference between, in Romania we have usine and factory, and we perceive it as usine like something really huge, and factory is smaller.
Oh, it's true.
And amateur is one thing, home is another thing. So I think
yes,
there's an example in this as well.
Yes, for me I wanted to use the word factory or using to desacralize cinema. So film is make me think of the material film that you put into the projector. Cinema, it's a way of thinking, and I don't want to be part of it because there is a lot of intellectual discussion about what cinema is. And it's very irritating because it's elitist, and that's why I didn't use the word cinema, and that's why on the top of that I use the word factory or using to break this idea of art and to make it I mean, to give a little touch of humor, because it's a contrast between the factory and using. But there is no other translation of factory and using. But you're right, it sounds, now you say it sounds smaller, but if there is a usine in America, you say a factory. I don't know, plant, you can say.
Yes, probably. But
a car plant or a car factory.
And then I said the difference also between home movie and films amateur, because films amateur is, to us, I think, again, you wanted local touches. There was, in past Romania, there was a movement of films amateur, which was, in general, it was an encouragement of the working class to do some little artistic activities. So we still have this perception of samatoria, just for workers, so very low. And then home movie, to me, is more from your family, or your film a party or a wedding or something which belongs to your private life. It's not necessarily an artistic attempt at non-professional.
No, but that works with my idea
Yes.
of the film. It's something that you do for yourself, and that's the idea. Is you watch the film for yourself. Other people are not supposed to watch it. It's not about privacy. It's about decomplexing people. But there were another, the word amateur. Amateur is an interesting word because it has two meanings. One, it's appreciative. It's somebody who likes amateur. And when it's something to be criticized, it's like far above. You look down and you say amateur is somebody who doesn't know his craft. You see amateur work. So it's somebody who's not professional. So it's interesting, and of course I like it better when it's looked at something positive. But it's an interesting work, because most of the time it's derogative. You know, when you look in the corner of your eye and you see something, you always imagine the worst, like as it was a big insect crawling. And when you see something on the floor, you think it's a mouse or a crawling insect. It's probably connected to the ancient fear, dangerous animals.
Last three questions, please. I have one right here.
Hello, I'm Julie from Brothers Brothers. Yesterday at the movie factory, you said that you're against competitions, right?
Sorry?
Against competition.
Yes.
How do you feel about festivals?
How do I feel about?
Festivals.
About film festivals.
Well, I think festivals are great because, like for instance, my movie, Micro and Gasoline, I'm really disappointed it's not been seen more because it's very personal and it's I like it very much. I like it because of my actors. So when I go to festival and people watch it, it gives a life to a movie. I don't like competition because it selects, in general, it selects people for the wrong reason. I don't know if you see this movie Whiplash, which is a great movie about this kid who learns the drum and he becomes the best, but all his journey is marked by disgraceful action that he does to go ahead. And the competition, to me, selects the bad in us. And of course it motivates people because it's like the lottery. You want to you go there because you think that there is a hope you will